For 5 minutes, please.
Great to be back. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good to be back in mighty OGGO, as you call it. Look, I'm really grateful for the work that you do at the Transportation Safety Board. We've had a number of incidents on the West Coast. I want to highlight those that are affecting marine spills, especially cargo shipping units. We had the Hanjin Seattle spill just a couple of years ago, 2016, off of the coast of Ucluelet. We had the Zim Kingston, as you know, off of Victoria, and each time it's First Nations, local governments, provincial governments, ANGOs and NGOs that are doing the cleanup. There's a jurisdictional quagmire there. We don't have the oil response type of system set up to respond. The Transportation Safety Board has released a report around Zim Kingston. I don't know why they didn't around Hanjin Seattle, and maybe I'm incorrect, but I can't find it. But it cited that the occurrence involving the Zim Kingston demonstrated some of the challenges involving in responding to a marine emergency in Canadian waters. And you also highlighted it raised questions about the availability and capability of Canadian resources. In fact, it cited Canada's preparedness for other types of marine emergencies, such as those involving hazardous and noxious substances, of huge concern. In fact, it cited that Canada doesn't have a plan on how to respond to those occurrences involving the hazardous and noxious substances. So the overall finding that you made was if Canada is not prepared to respond to marine emergencies in Canadian waters, there's a risk that these emergencies won't be managed in a timely and effective manner, endangering vessels, their crew, the environment, and the health and safety of Canadians. And I would add to that the economy, because we rely on the blue economy on the West Coast, and these threats are significant to our food security and our way of life. Is it frustrating when you make these recommendations and you see no changes? And secondly, are you seeing an increase in marine debris spills on the West Coast, given that we've seen obviously more dangerous weather from climate change, and of course increased traffic at the Port of Vancouver? Maybe you could give some insight on that.
So regarding the first part of your question, so as part of the Zim Kingston investigation, we didn't issue recommendations. We issued what we call a board concern. And a board concern is a way for us to flag a safety deficiency when we have limited information to be able to assess the risk with a certain situation. So in the case of the Zim Kingston, that's what we did. And you're absolutely right that these are the issues that we flagged. Which is why a few years later, as part of the, we have decided to launch what we call a Class 1 safety issues investigation. So a safety issues investigation basically is a study that we are conducting on emergency preparedness for Canada. We have launched it this summer. It's already well advanced, and basically our goal is to interact with port authorities, with First Nations, with operators, with the regulators to identify, what can be improved in terms of Canada's preparedness for marine emergencies, shipboard fires, and all that. So we're really looking at all of these issues because in the case of the Zim Kingston, there was a fire on board, so we this issue, this accident highlighted these risks, which is why we are looking at it deeper currently.